It's so good to have you. It's a very, very special moment. And it's a very special story. It's intrinsically an Indian story by Rudyard Kipling. But today, it's a very special occasion because the world is going to witness, there's a premiere in the evening, and it's a big Netflix premiere of a Hollywood release happening for the first time in India.
I mean, I'm just thrilled beyond belief. It really is a dream come true that we are opening this film here. You know, to bring this film back to its root source, to tell this story, you know, an interpretation of which I believe has never been seen in the country that inspired it, is absolutely, it's so exciting. And you know, this would not have happened were it not for Netflix acquiring this movie. And when we were conceiving the film, when I began to direct this film, I always imagined it as having a global reach as a story. It's a quick hello. Are we saying hello as individual, or should we just bring everybody on? Next up is someone who I know a little bit.
No, but you know, it's just the very, very tip of the iceberg. Yeah, I filmed here before in 2011 in Rajasthan, in Jodhpur, with The Dark Knight Rises. And then I brought my family out here. We've been here for 4 days. We travelled through Delhi and Agra and Jaipur, and then just arrived here in Mumbai. And you know, tiny scratch of this incredible country, which has sort of a world within itself. But it's so appropriate for Mowgli to premiere here.
Yeah, so much like all of you, I actually grew up reading Rudyard Kipling's short stories as well. And, you know, I really loved them, and I really loved Mowgli, you know, the boy who grew up with wolves. He was almost like my hero in a way, but I put a lot of work into this through, like, the physical side of the character. I did a lot of research on YouTube, and I actually went to upstate New York to camp out with wolves in a wolf conservatory center in order to, like, observe their movements and kind of observe how they interact with each other, and I try to apply that to Mowgli.
Yeah, I mean, I think that our version of the film does. First of all, it digs into the notion of what it is to be an outsider. That is perhaps the most important aspect of the film. What it is to feel displaced. What it is to not feel that you belong anywhere.
I mean, for a boy growing up in the jungle, you would kind of have to be kind of fierce, you know, to compete with these animals and everything. But also, I think our movie is kind of closer in tone to Rudyard Kipling's book, which it goes kind of deeper a lot with the characters. And also, like, something that I really admire about Mowgli is really just his perseverance, because, you know, obviously he was dealt a very bad hand in life.
First of all, let me be very honest. I was very, you know, it was an honor for me that I was approached to do Baloo's character. And of course, when I saw the film and saw portions of it and read about it, I said, it's definitely more textured and more layered, so it made it much more exciting. And of course, it became a bit, I have to be very honest, because there was, you know, whenever I got stuck, and you know what, because you see, obviously, we're used to having the director when we are doing the voiceover, so I was, and if he was not there physically present, but Andy's voice was there, so whenever I got stuck, I would hear his voice again and again and again and again, and understand what is he thinking, how is he doing it. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. So because it became a great reference for me whenever I got stuck. You see, my interpretation was there, but there are times when you need someone to bounce. So this was a great time. You know, I would listen to it 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, and understand it, and then go and do it. So that made it much more exciting for me, yeah.
Was Baloo, because he was the fun-loving guy. As a kid, you like that. But then when you grow older, you know, your choices change. And then as an adult, you prefer a character like Bagheera because he represents certain responsibilities and values which reflect within you. So what's really nice is, I think, whichever stage of your life you watch this film or read the story, there's something for each and every age group to take away from. There are a great sense of values, morals, principles, life's learnings and teachings that you can imbibe and take away. So I think that's why this story keeps getting retold.
No pressure at all. I mean, Andy, we first met when I was 19 years old. He's always been a phenomenal actor. And then he's really mastered this whole performance capture thing, which when you first start it, you think, what are the secrets? What are we looking for? There's always those elements that you're not sure what the priority is, but he could guide me on that. And eventually it just comes down to his acting.
Completely different to what Ka's character required. I think I enjoyed this a lot more because I found her voice very, very powerful, very, very, it had to be slightly hypnotic, because she kind of hypnotizes Mowgli and in a way to take his decision, and shows him the way, to his journey, the path. So obviously it's slightly hypnotic, slightly seductive, very, very powerful. I felt like when I was dubbing, I felt like, I don't know, I was like on stage. I had to be slightly more theatrical. The voice had to sound like it wasn't me. So I actually enjoyed doing it. When it was over, I was like, God, why weren't there more scenes?
Miss Harris, she did a brilliant job. And all I had to do was just use my voice and her expressions and just get the flow of it. It's a beautiful character. It's that of a mother who accepts Mowgli as a child. He's very different from their clan. He's a man cub. And yet she goes out, she's generous, she is loving, she's giving, and she accepts she accepts him as his own. And that was a wonderful thing, I think, which is needed in the world today. People are different, and you need to embrace something that's different, and that's what she does. And I enjoyed playing her.
Andy and I, when we worked on Rise of the Planet of the Apes, that was my fourth film ever of my career. And I had no idea what motion capture was or what I was going to have to do on set. And it's a very strange thing when you come to set and you watch a grown man in a suit with dots on his face and a camera attached to his head. And then Andy starts performing, and then you completely forget that you're watching a man. You're just watching Caesar come to life. So similarly, I knew, working with Andy on this particular project, that all the animals, all the actors lending themselves to motion capture were going to be taken care of, because really what he's focused on is a performance and not just, the big set of it all.
హలో మిమ్మల్నే యోయో టీవీ యాప్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకున్నారా? ఇంకా లేదా? మీ యాప్ స్టోర్కి వెళ్ళి వెంటనే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి.
ఈ వీడియో గనుక మీకు నచ్చినట్లయితే
లైక్ చేయండి,
షేర్ చేయండి
అండ్ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి.